Battle through the heavens, grand world. Chapter 219. Who's stronger and who's weaker? When the battle between Xiao Yan and Wei Shu began, the other young men also found their opponents and started fighting. In an instant, flames of fury filled the sky, and a majestic light enveloped the area. A piercingly cold, killing intent soared into the sky. The hearts of the people in the stands were beating rapidly. Their initial calmness had turned into disbelief. It seemed like they had underestimated these young men after all. Their combat awareness seemed to be on par with those of the older generation who had been involved in this battle for many years. Jade Fairy's pretty eyes were tightly locked on Xiao Yan. When Xiao Yan attacked, she had sensed the latter's strength. Compared to the previous night's battle, Xiao Yan's strength was much stronger. Furthermore, he didn't even use any techniques, and he was already able to deal with a 9th-grade monarch spirit genius with ease. Seeing this, Jade Fairy's red lips slightly curled up, and the worry in her heart dissipated. Flaming Hand. She seemed to have noticed the gap between her and Xiao Yan, even though she was quite distressed in her heart. Wei Shu quickly calmed his mind. As a genius as well, no one could easily lower their heads to Xiao Yan. With this thought in mind, the origin monarch ki in Wei Shu's body began to surge, flowing along the meridians of the cultivation technique. In an instant, his hands had become extremely red. As he waved, the air seemed to have traces of burning. Kai. Wei Shu took a few strange steps and rushed to Xiao Yan's side in a flash. Both of his hands were like poisonous snakes as he extended them. It caused the air to buzz and directly hit Xiao Yan's chest. Xiao Yan frowned slightly when he sensed the surrounding hot air. After which, he laughed softly. Under Wei Shu's stunned expression, Xiao Yan charged forward. He did not care about the two palms of the former. At the same time, his right hand formed 5 fingers into a fist and smashed towards Wei Shu's chest. You want to exchange injury for injury. Wei Shu's heart skipped a beat, and the corner of his mouth couldn't help but twitch. What exactly is this guy thinking? Furthermore, when he saw that Xiao Yan had no intention of unleashing his attack with his left hand behind his back, a hint of anger rose in his heart. This fellow actually looked down on him. Wei Shu didn't have time to guess what Xiao Yan was thinking. When he sensed the heavy force on the latter's fist, he made a prompt decision. The origin monarch ki on the surface of his body surged out, carrying a sliver of black flame that formed a black flame armor. Black flames curled around it. It seemed indestructible. With the protection of the black flame armor, the throbbing in Wei Shu's heart lessened by a lot. With a cold laugh, he struck both of Xiao Yan's palms. The force became even greater. All of this happened in a split second. When Wei Shu's palms landed on Xiao Yan's chest, Xiao Yan's right fist also arrived with a whistling sound. When it came into contact with Wei Shu's black flame armor, the fist suddenly stopped. In the next moment, it turned into a palm and landed on the latter's chest. Hey! Both palms struck Xiao Yan's chest, and a dull sound was heard. Wei Shu sneered and was about to continue attacking when he suddenly felt a faint pain in his chest. Before he could react, this pain had already spread from his chest to his upper body. Wei Shu was terrified. The intense pain caused him to frown. He lowered his head and saw Xiao Yan's right palm striking on his black flame armor. A wisp of crimson gold flame was emitted from his palm, and it easily pierced through the black flame armor that he was proud of. The flame pierced into his chest like a blade. Although there was no blood flowing out, the burning pain caused Wei Shu's facial expression to change drastically. When Wei Shu lowered his head, Xiao Yan's left hand suddenly extended out from his back. It was like a rolling thunder as it smashed onto Wei Shu's body. The latter had just reacted when he was sent flying backwards. Dong! When Xiao Yan sent Wei Shu flying with a punch, Yin Kang also sent the yellow-robed young man flying with a kick. The two young men who were sent flying collided in the air. Blood flowed out from the corners of their mouths as they fell to the ground. They wanted to get up, but they didn't have the strength to do so. Xiao Yan looked at Yin Kang. The latter was also looking at him. Their eyes met, and they looked at each other coldly. After glancing at Xiao Yan, Yin Kang retracted his gaze. With his strength, he had the right to look down on everyone present. Walking to the side of the two men who had fallen to the ground, Yin Kang effortlessly lifted them up with both hands. After passing through the crowd of people, some of the young men who were fighting stopped when they saw Yin Kang approaching. Under everyone's gaze, Yin Kang threw the yellow-robed man down. One of the yellow-robed young men caught him with an ashen face, and was about to throw Wei Shu down as well. Yin Kang's eyes paused for a moment, and then he fixed his gaze on Wei Shu's chest. There was a wound that looked like a sharp blade piercing into his chest. However, there was no trace of blood on the wound. It was as if it had been burned clean. Yin Kang's eyes sparkled. There was a trace of a smile on his indifferent face. He threw Wei Shu away. Yin Kang turned around and looked at Xiao Yan, who was not far away from them. As he detected the monarch flame to the hidden left on Wei Shu's chest, Xiao Yan's heart skipped a beat. He raised his head and looked over. Yin Kang was staring at him expressionlessly, like a hungry wolf in the dark, seeing the most delicious food. Xiao Yan smiled noncommittally. He retracted his gaze and muttered in his heart. This fellow's observational ability was really unusual. He was actually able to determine the ability he possessed from Wei Shu's wound. In just a short moment, there were 3 fewer participants in the arena, causing everyone to be shocked. No matter which one of these people was placed in a castle, they were all outstanding geniuses. Yet, in this place, they were easily defeated by Yin Kang. 3 of them were defeated by an unfamiliar youth. Yin Jushuan sat on a chair. He took a deep look at Xiao Yan and smiled. He glanced at Jade Fairy and said to himself, "Stupid woman, you really don't want to give up. However, it's not bad to have such an opponent. At least Yin Kang will be enlightened." Looking at Yin Kang, who had regained some of his energy, Yin Jushuan's smile became even wider. This was Yin Jushuan's son. No matter what kind of genius he was, he would always lose out in front of the latter. Unlike Yin Jushuan, Zhao Qingshan's expression had become much darker. Xiao Yan had eliminated a participant in an instant. Zhao Shuo, who had put all his confidence in himself, was still fighting with his opponent. Although the former obviously had the upper hand, his opponent was also very tenacious. It was impossible for him to win in a short period of time. There's no rush. Master's true strength has yet to be unleashed, and the secret skill of my Zhao family has yet to be used. Narrowing his eyes, Zhao Qingshan comforted himself in his heart. Only then did the expression on his face turn for the better. Chaotic Dragon Force. After a moment of deadlock, Jiangzi, the young tiger of the Zhang family, found an opportunity and exerted his strength. He used one of the secret arts of the Zhang family. The majestic origin monarch key smashed onto his opponent's body like a howling gale. The long roar of a dragon made it impossible for his opponent to defend against it. Jiangzi's secret arts ruthlessly smashed onto his body. The terrifying force caused the young man's clothes to be torn apart. A dragon-shaped mark suddenly appeared on his chest. A bright light flashed on the dragon-shaped mark. In the next instant, it suddenly exploded, causing the young man to vomit blood and fly backwards. His chest was covered in blood and it was a terrible sight to behold. Dong! The young man was directly blasted off the stage. The tribe members guarding the stage immediately helped him up. Their faces were pale as they fed him a medicine pill. The young man's father looked at Jiangzi with a complicated expression. He helplessly sighed. In the end, he did not act up. He was not strong enough and could not blame anyone else. After sending the young man off the stage, Jiangzi let out a sigh and withdrew his trembling hands. The young man was not simple either. He had used up more than half of his origin monarch key. After a pause, Jiangzi looked at the scene with a fierce expression. Yin Kang, who was wearing a gray robe, had his hands behind his back. He stood there calmly. After witnessing his fierce means, naturally no one stepped forward. On the other side, a young man in a black robe had a calm expression. He was watching the other battles with interest. His opponent had also disappeared a long time ago. Jiangzi's expression gradually became serious. He had subconsciously compared them. Compared to the other young men who were still entangled in the fight, these 2 guys were very likely to be the stumbling blocks for him to fight for the first place. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.